Hi, Chris. It's so nice to have you on the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here.
Beautiful. And like I mentioned earlier before we came in, thank you so very much for honoring the invite. I truly appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. There are a lot of showers happening outside. I tell you, it's raining heavily, but just bear with me, okay? As long as Chris can hear me, you're good to go. Okay. So I am quite excited to have you, Chris, on the show for some reasons. All right. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking because I believe in order to transition from a chaotic situation to that of a beautiful one, it takes the application of knowledge, quality information. And you see, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness means ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking because I do not want to remain in the dark. The second reason why I'm excited to have Chris on the show is for the sake of the listens. I believe we're living in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. So these folks trust me for quality information. And that's why when I came across your profile, so excited because I believe I'm definitely going to get praises after our conversation. Thank you for inviting praise. Man, did good. So to get started, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal and professional journey, how you got here. And afterwards, I've got you some beautiful questions. Okay, Chris, over to you.
So, really, when I think about it, my journey began with a meltdown. So, like a lot of business people, I became an executive of a company. I'm working with all sorts of people in different walks of life, and I really thought when I got there I was going to be living the dream. So I had, you talked about knowledge. I'd gone to school. I've got a master's degree in business, have a couple of bachelor degrees, and I really thought, education and all that was really going to get me to where I needed to be. And part of that helped me with skill sets, but it did not help me with where I was at. There was a moment in time where I'm dealing with a few people. So my sales manager is across from me from my desk. I've got people on the telephone in multiple states, and this weekly managers meeting more or less turned into me just getting really angry, really upset with everything that is going on. And as the meeting ended, I'm slamming the phone down. I am the typical bad boss. I'm yelling at the guy that's across from me. He gets up. He's mad at me. As he goes to leave, I actually started to follow him down the hall. And I thought, you know what? I just need to fire him right now. And so I got up to follow him down the hallway. And then it suddenly hit me. It's like, you know what? Maybe I just need to get rid of everybody. Maybe I need to go do something else because this is not working for me. Now, from the outside, everybody probably looking in thought, he's living the dream. Everything is wonderful. Everything is great. And right then, right when I had this thought of throwing in the towel with everything, my phone rings. It's my wife, and I see her name on my phone, and I throw my phone across the room. And as it shatters, I'm thinking to myself, what has happened to me? It was like this snap into my life. I have, I know in your podcast talk about faith a lot. I grew up in the church. Both of my grandfathers are pastors. One of my degrees is in biblical studies and theology. I went to a Christian college, and I had this kind of separation in my mind of what was my personal self and what was my business self, almost two identities that I would not allow to converge because that's just the way the world is. And so that really was what I discovered was part of my burnout, my point where I had reached this point where life wasn't working. Even though the world would have said life was working, it wasn't working on the inside. And what's interesting is as I changed what I did in life, as I became a coach and consultant, went to work for a company, became a consultant for them, and started talking to other business owners. As you break through that outer facade, there's a lot of people, regardless of the size of the organization, whether they're an entry level manager in a business or whether they're an executive at a Fortune 500 company. On the inside, people are feeling the exact same thing, struggling with the same personal problems. And what I discovered was that was also part of the thing that was holding me back in business from having the impact and the effect that I was wanting to have. It was that internal struggle that was also part of what my issues were. So discovering, how to change my life into what it should be, I had missed a lot of the things that I needed to do. And because of that, because of my lack, I recently wrote a book called Turning Vision into Reality. The lack of having a clear vision for my life, but not just for my life, but a vision of how I was going to impact others was really what was causing all my internal strife. It wasn't the economy. It wasn't the people that I'd hired. It really originated with me.
Amazing, Chris.
So as I was internalizing what had happened, I actually went back to an event from when I was in high school. So I played football in high school. I was hoping to go on to college to play, but it was actually my first day of practice in high school football, and I got knocked out by a guy. So it was the first time I'd really gotten hit by somebody on a football field. And I wake up and there's a guy over me. He's holding up, some fingers, asking me, what do I see? And in my head, I really am seeing like 9 people in front of me. I mean, there's all sorts of faces, all sorts of fingers. And our coach came over and he leans over me and he holds up 2 fingers to me. And I thought he's going to ask me the same question. How many fingers do you see? And he didn't. And he said, son, you've got 2 decisions to make. One is, are you going to get up? Number 2, what are you going to do differently so you don't end up down here again? And then he stood up and walked off. And those 2 questions, really for a lot of my life, that is what I focused on. And that is, when you get to the root of a lot of business training, that is what it is. You're going to fail, get back up, do it again. Fail is good, fail is great, but figure out what you did wrong and don't end up here again. And I lived on that. And when I came to this point in my life, I was like, I've been doing this over and over again. I'm back at the same point. And I had missed the third lesson that I did not realize till later. And that was that I needed to become him. A few years ago, he passed away. I went to his funeral and he had spent 50 years teaching, coaching, and there were people from all walks of life that were there to give honor to him and what he had done, investing in other people's lives. It's at that point I realized that the message I had missed in that was not just about the getting up. It wasn't just about learning and doing something different. It was that I needed to become him. I needed to become the person who could step in when somebody is beaten down, when they're struggling, and be able to step into that situation and give a word, give advice, give support, give a hug, let them know that they're loved, that they're respected, that they have opportunity in front of them, and then be able to support that person along the way. And I never did that before. I was really looking on what was this situation for me? What was going to get me to the next step? What was going to get my organization maybe to the next step? But not really focusing on the lives of the people that were around me. And when I changed that focus, that's where I got excited again. That's where I got excited about work, about having impact, about business, and really about life. Was that realization that part of my responsibility as a leader, part of my responsibility and my belief in Christ is that I needed to step forward and have that impact on somebody else. It wasn't left up to the preachers, to the religious leaders. I needed to have impact on people's lives personally and take that care and that time. And when I did that, when I started thinking that way, it began to refocus what I did in vision, with vision and business vision, because it wasn't just about the organization. It wasn't just about the executive I was talking to. It was about how is your vision affect customers? How does it affect your team members? Where are they going in this journey? What type of organization are you trying to build that will support this vision that you have for your life, for your business, for the people that you're bringing along with you? And when you start expanding that conversation, you get really clear in what your life is supposed to be and what's really important and what's not important.
Praise the Lord. You know, your stories are very interesting, and some of the things I learned from it so far is that the power and the importance of a clear vision. You know, folks who know where they're going, and they're convinced that this is what I was born to do. Even if stress or some other things comes along the way, it wouldn't knock them down. You know, but doing things that you weren't born to do, when trials and all of these things come, There'll be a lot of issues. And that part where you mentioned that your coach, he was a great coach, based on what you just said about he was a great coach. Because I was also like that. I used to think that I'm on this planet to serve myself. It's all about me, not others. And when the Holy Spirit educated me that I wasn't born, neither is any of us born to just serve ourselves, but serve others. Because true fulfillment comes from when others are benefiting from God's gift upon your life. So I got your story. It's very powerful and inspiring. And I can relate to it. So it's a good one. Okay, so Chris, shall we get started with the questions? Okay. You mentioned vision. So now, can you share some key principles now to turn your vision into reality?
So one of those things is when I've talked with a lot of people, their vision isn't big enough. And when I say big enough, it's not about that I'm going to make a certain amount of money, that I want to be a millionaire. I want to be a billionaire. It's not that type of big. What it is that it really is inclusive of all portions of your life and the people that you're going to work with. And when you develop this larger vision, the people that you need to go along with you, people that you need to hire, the people that you need to partner with, the customers that you are looking for become very clear, and they also see their part in that vision if you share it in the right way. And so when you think about vision from a business standpoint, if I am developing a business that, I'm here in the United States, if I'm wanting to expand into other states in the U.S., I'm starting to expand my footprint, or I want to go international, and I'm going to hire an advertising agency to help me. I need somebody who can do digital ads, who maybe can do YouTube ads, maybe do TV advertising for me. If I go to a local small person who's just getting started, that's never had experience maybe in doing a large geographic, multiple cities, multiple states, multiple countries, but my vision is that in 5, 10 years from now, that's where I'm going to be. I need to find somebody who is one of two things: already has that experience that's there, or they're like me, they're getting started and they have that same vision. This is what I want to do. This is where I want to go. I want to be that large. I want to have that number of people. I want to support that. And if I choose the wrong individual as I'm moving along, they're not going to be happy and I'm not going to be happy. And why not pick the person who has the same vision that you do, that you can go along with? It's their own company. They're making their own choices, but there are people that are wanting to go where you want to go. And if you share that vision, you can go with them. It's the same thing with our team members. You know, there are all sorts of different personal cultures inside a business, how you want to operate your business, how you want to live, what those things mean. There are so many different ways that we can look at it. When we look at franchises, whether it's a restaurant, a fast food chain like McDonald's, even if it's a gas station or it's some other type of service business, we talk a lot in business about processes. We want to have processes. We want to make checklists. We want to know exactly how to do each little step in our business. So when we hire somebody, we can give them this checklist and they can do what it is. Well, franchises are a perfect example of where everybody has the exact same process, the exact same training. They have the same advertising. They have the same brand. They wear the same clothes. And yet you can go into different places and you'll see a totally different culture. One place may be very clean. It's very efficient. They're real fast. They're happy. They're smiling. They're excited you're there. And you could go a few miles away into the exact same business in the exact same franchise system. And everything sort of maybe looks the same, but it's not as clean. People aren't as happy. And that comes right down to the leader. That comes right down to the owner of that business who decides, how is this place going to be? And it's not about being the leader that is a dictator in the business. I don't never see that work in the long term. What it becomes is that leader who has a vision for the way things that are going to be, how they're going to operate, has found the people, the partners, and the customers that want to have that same experience. And then they lead their way through that. They serve that vision, and along with it, they serve the people that are around them as they get there. And so defining what that is and it being all inclusive to all these different parts of your business. So when I talk to a customer, I can tell them what my vision is for them in coming along with this, or when I'm hiring a team member, this is where I want to go. And this is what I envision for you as part of this. If this is your vision for where you want to go in your career, in your life, this is how I'm going to support you in that. That is so powerful, not just for you, the individual, the person, the leader, the owner. It's so powerful for the people that are coming along with you.
I got that. But, what you just said made me remember. Well, she was working in a restaurant. Every time she was always complaining to me that you're so tired. Always always stressing, always complaining now. The boss is treating her, now this and this. Then I asked her two questions. I said, when you went to apply for the job, what were the questions your boss never asked? Well, she said, she only asked me if I can cook. What did you say? I said, yes, I can. And I realized, then I asked, I said, okay, why are you working? What's the reason why you're there? Well, she said, I'm just trying to survive, just to ensure I get things done, pay my bills, those stuff. And I said to her, I said, that's the reason why you're feeling all stressed out working, because your vision does not tally your boss's vision. You guys are total opposite. She wants to sell nice and good, tasty food to our customers. You are there just to make some money to pay your bills. So you will definitely always feel stressed out because visions aren't correlated. And I told her, I said, what would you like to do? What exactly do you feel like you want to do? And she said, truthfully speaking, Elijah, I think I want to go into naked. I love plating air for people and all of that. And I advised her, I said, venture into that aspect instead, rather than just wasting your time. So I got your point. It was a great point. I love it. So we have just one more question. So is there a way to know that we are communicating the right way with our team and our customers?
There is. It's actually pretty easy. So if you've got that first step of what is your vision, what the culture is, who are the people that you're trying to work with, it comes down to really that there are 4 questions that I teach. So if you're going to send out an email, you're developing advertising, you're just going to post something on social media, or you're developing something for your team, like, roles and responsibilities. What is this job going to be? How you communicate that is so important. And there's 4 questions that you can ask with any of those things that will really help you develop a good message, but then also help you stay away from the bad messages, the things that destroy what you've been trying to build. And the first one is, does this represent the vision for our company? And sometimes we look at something and it's like, this doesn't say anything about our vision. Well, why not? Here's your opportunity to communicate part of your vision. And that is one of the things that you have to learn as a leader, is that if you don't feel like you're over communicating some things, you're probably not saying it enough, because we get a lot of information that comes through us. We're busy in our jobs. Your example of being a cook in a busy restaurant, somebody can say something to you and 15 minutes later that hasn't stuck with you because you're dealing with your day to day. So does this represent the vision for our company? The second thing is, what does this say about us and our brand? If I type out an email to somebody responding to a complaint from a customer or from one of my team members, the way that I respond says a lot about me. Does this say what I want it to say? Am I saying it in the way that I need to say? Am I trying to have a positive impact on this person's life, or am I just mad at them and venting my own frustrations on somebody else? So what does this say about us? And then 2, what does this say about our team? If I'm saying that my team is the right person to come to your home to fix whatever problem you have, but I don't trust my team, And in my communication, it shows that I don't really trust them. I'm going to micromanage. I'm going to tell everything that they need to do. Then why am I sending that person to this individual's home to represent me? What does this say about my team? Does it say that they are the people that I intend them to be as part of my vision? And am I, again, lifting them up in their movement? Am I serving them, or am I just destroying their personality, what they have? And then the
Okay,
last
Chris,
question is,
are you
what
still
does
there?
this
Can you
say
hear
about
me?
our customers? Our customers are our most important resource. They're the ones that keep us in business. They're the ones that pay our bills. They're the ones that more or less give us a job. It's not really the owner. It's the customers that we serve. What does this say about our customers? Does it say the right thing about the customers that we're working towards for our vision? That's one of the big questions is this doing what we need it to do for us to be effective with our customers? We see it all the time with brands and with businesses today. They put something out there that offends their customers or breaks a relationship and doesn't give them what they need, what they deserve, and what they're looking for. So we always have to be mindful of what does this say about our customers. So if we ask those 4 questions before we put out something new, before we send out that ad, before we update, even something as simple as our employee handbook, it'll help us deliver our vision and then help us do it in the right way.
Beautiful. I got that. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, so to bring this to an end, Chris, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought? To those ones who would like to reach out to you, learn more about what you're doing. You've said so many amazing stuff today, and it was amazing, and they'd love to learn more. How can that be possible?
So I think the final thought, we hear a lot about intention and being intentional in what we do. And I think we have to be intentional about ourselves and how we interact with the people that are around us. And so to that end, I've actually created a workbook, a free workbook based on my book. And there's actually video training that goes along with it. So there's 7 videos that go with it. And what I do is I give you an assessment of what your vision is, of where you are. And then I take you through from how do you develop that vision, not just for yourself, but again, around this 360-degree, all-inclusive type vision. And then what are the things that you can do to help make sure you take the right steps so that you can get there? So it's very simple. It's at vision360builder.com. So just go in there and put in your email. I'll send everything to you. And then if anybody wants to find me pretty much anywhere on social media, I'm at Chris Moore Live or chrismoorelive.com. And I would be happy to talk to anyone, answer any questions. I'd love to hear from you.
So that's going to be the end of the show, Chris. Thank you so very much for coming, and thank you for sharing this amazing stuff with us. I truly appreciate it, man.
Thank
Thank you.
you. I appreciate it. Thank you.